You're backed by arguably one of the greatest of all time, right?
What are we rating ourselves on? What are we rating on?
Okay.
What we want to know? In the least amount of fights, you know, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Yo, yeah, so if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay. I'm just asking. Floyd was pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm going to always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
You could take a guy like Canelo. This guy could do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
When Terence Bud Crawford said I'd stop Floyd easier than I stopped Spence, everyone lost their minds, but no one more than Floyd Mayweather himself. Within hours, Floyd's reaction hit social media slick, subtle, and as cold as ever. But behind, the polished words and poker face insiders say Floyd's furious, because for the first time in years, someone didn't just compare themselves to him. They claimed they'd beat him, and not just beat him, stop him. So yeah, Floyd heard Crawford loud and clear, and his response, it wasn't just about ego, it was about legacy, pride, and the uncomfortable truth that the game he once ruled might now belong to someone else. Let's break it down. The clip that started it all aired on a popular boxing podcast just 2 nights ago. Terence Crawford, fresh off his historic win over Canelo Alvarez, was asked one of those hypothetical questions fighters usually dodge if you and Floyd were both in your prime. The host said, "How would that fight go, Crawford?" Leaned back, cracked a grin, and dropped the quote that broke boxing Twitter in half. "I'd stop Floyd easier than I stopped Errol Spence. He's great. But I'm greater." That one sentence went nuclear within minutes. Hashtags like #Crawford versus Floyd and #GOAT debate were trending worldwide. See, here's the thing. Floyd Mayweather spent his entire post-retirement era trying to control the conversation. Every exhibition, every interview, every headline, all designed to keep the focus on him. But in 2025, that grip is slipping. Because while Floyd's fighting Mike Tyson in what's basically a nostalgia act, Crawford's out here building real history. He's not chasing paydays. He's chasing greatness. And that's what burns Floyd the most.
Who do you think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moving weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
And I'm going to get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. Yeah. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather's the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. No, but that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of, he has a lot of balls to do that. And not only to go do that to show the world that he's really like that.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford's part.
I beat this guy. It's his excuse. I beat this guy. You know, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. And I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
For years, critics said Floyd's career was defined by timing, waiting out opponents, picking the perfect fights, maximizing money while minimizing risk, and for the most part, they were right. He was a genius businessman, but that genius came with an asterisk. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford is doing the exact opposite. He's fighting dangerous opponents at their peaks, he's moving up weight classes, he's taking risks Floyd never took, and now he's calling Floyd out, not for clout, but for credibility. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Inside sources close to Mayweather Promotions revealed that Floyd feels disrespected, not because of the comment itself, but because of who said it. Remember, Floyd discovered Gervonta Davis he mentored. Him molded him and built his empire around loyalty. But Crawford, he never needed Floyd, he never trained under him, never signed to him, never bowed to his system. He became a superstar on his own terms, something very few fighters have ever done. And that independence is exactly why Floyd feels threatened. One promoter told us Floyd sees himself in Bud, but without the control, Crawford's doing what Floyd did, just without the politics. And that's the problem Floyd doesn't like being. Compared to his successor, he likes being the one they can't replicate. But Crawford's not trying to replicate him, he's rewriting the playbook.
At the end of the day, I'll let you know, there's no fighter that will ever be better than me. There's no fighter that wasn't better than me before me or after me or when I'm long gone. I'm the best.
Where does he rank now, all time? Ending this interview.
#1, and the only one that he got at top is Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Because Terence Crawford's this generation guy. You know what I'm saying? Accomplishing all the goals that he accomplished.
Matched up? How do they match up, Floyd and Terence?
Hey, I'm like this, man. It's going to be great because Floyd, he's about his work. He put in work. We've been watching it for decades. You know what I'm saying? Him coming out of retirement to do this fight, that's a win for the whole world boxing. Every generation, from Floyd's generation to this generation, they get to see it come. That's just like we never get to see Michael Jordan play, right? But we remember when he used to play. Come on. So,
in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
I didn't expect that the fight will be like that, but I thought it will finish 12 rounds. But Crawford is he did a good job.
Is Crawford number one? time for time number one?
I think so. I think so.
How do we?
Rematch. I don't think.
Do you feel like they need a rematch, Manny, after what you saw tonight?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a rematch.
That's all we gotta go.
It's
Sorry.
kind of a one-sided fight.
Does this fight make Terence Crawford an all-time great in your eyes?
Well, he's still in his career, so he's prime in his career. So we'll see. We'll see the journey of his life.
Because when you mention great fighters, right? 90% of the great fighters are black, the ones from the past. Now, with the Eastern Bloc coming on like they are, there's going to be some great ones coming on now. Even with Lil Tony, as you see it, these guys are going to be great. They're going to start eclipsing and coming up there too. But right now, if you had to name 5 of the best fighters of all time, 4 of them going to be black. You understand me? Who did he beat that was black in his prime, that was in their prime, that was on his level? No.
Now let's talk about what makes this debate so divisive. Floyd Mayweather was the most untouchable fighter of his generation. The man barely lost rounds, let alone fights. His defensive genius turned punchers into amateurs. But Crawford, he's the exact opposite. He invites chaos, then dominates it. He doesn't need to outpoint you, he needs to break you down. When he fought, Errol Spence fans expected a war. Instead, they got a masterclass in controlled violence. Crawford dissected him piece by piece, dropped him 3 times, and finished him like a surgeon. That's the kind of performance Floyd never delivered against top-tier opponents. Sure, Floyd schooled Canelo, but that was a 2-3-year-old Canelo who hadn't hit his prime yet. Crawford beat Pete Canelo 2 divisions up. That's why so many modern boxing analysts are saying it out loud now. Terence Crawford might actually be better than Floyd Mayweather ever was. Even legends are picking sides. Roy Jones Jr. said, if you're talking skill for skill, Floyd was smoother, but if you're talking complete dominance, Crawford's doing something we've never seen. And Max Kellerman broke it down perfectly. Floyd fought for control, Crawford fights for glory. That's the difference.